Hey everybody! Today's episode of the R&R Show is brought to you by Fun Again Games. And hello, friends! Welcome! Another week, another bit of peppy music. I always enjoy the piano intros. I've started listening to that channel, Rahdo. It's a really good channel. Yeah, it's he's got a lot of Jacob Kohler, I believe, is the artist.
That is correct. Kohler with a K. Fantastic artist.
Really good
Lots
stuff.
of really good stuff. Well worth subscribing to.
Absolutely.
Although it sounds like I messed it up. I think there was a glitch in the audio right there at the end.
I was wondering about that. That was the first time I've heard that, so I don't. Yeah,
my bad. I rendered it up special, and I must have goofed up somewhere in a copy paste. But it'll be better next week, I promise. With three more new games for people to get.
Yes. All right, friends. Yes. Welcome again to the R&R show. This is episode lucky number 13. Wow, that's what is that? 3 months? Over 3 months now. We've been doing this, my friend.
That is unthinkable to me. That is amazing. And I guess we'll stick with it for a little while longer since people seem to enjoy it.
We're going to be doing it for a little longer. Absolutely. Yeah. And friends, you can catch all the previous episodes right there in that rnr.rahdo.com. Feel free to check that out when you can. And I want to welcome everyone. Again, I see Burgundy, France. I see Greece. We have our friends here in North America. Also, I thought I saw someone down in Mexico. Thank you, friends, for joining us as always. Why don't we jump right into it? We've got games to give away.
Yes, we do.
All right.
These two right here. We've got two giveaways. One from last week's sponsor, Arcane Wonders. They're sending out a copy of Onitama plus the new Light and Shadow expansion, which, man, I went and looked afterwards. We talked about this a lot last week. I mean, I know you love this game, but boy, we went deep on Onitama with good reason, because this is such a cool expansion, and one lucky winner is going to get it. Somebody in North America or Canada. The wheel of names, is already ready to go. Let me find it. Are you ready to hit the button?
Yes, let's do this. Good luck, everybody. Here we go.
Yes, here we go. And the winner is... Dave Groot.
David Groot.
I am David Groot. He was heard to say. Yes.
Well done. All right.
Cool. But that's only half of it, folks, because for the rest of our viewers, because as we talked about last week, over 60% of this audience is not in America and Canada. Which is, it's a big deal. I mean, I love the fact that we have such a big international audience here. And so for everybody else, we're giving away the big deluxe package of Lands of Galzyr. I mean, just look at all that stuff you get. That's a ton of stuff. And if you aren't lucky enough to win, the Pledge Manager is open for Lands of Galzyr right now. The Game Found campaign is already done, but if you follow the links down in the show notes, you could go learn a bit more about the game, watch the run-through Shay did of it. It's a very, very cool game. But to get ready for that, I have to prepare to share the second screen. So I'll let you talk for a second while I go about sharing business.
Cool. Yeah. So, Galzyr, I mean, look at all that stuff you're going to get, folks. I mean, this is a wonderful opportunity to get a hot new game. I want to say hi to everyone in chat again. Oh, my gosh. We've got friends in Australia joining us from down under. Thank you, friends. Good to see you all here. And, you got
not just anybody from down under. Thinker Themer.
Oh, Thinker Themer. Oh, my gosh. Yes. Oh,
yes.
Hi, Thinker Themer.
Banging the drum, apparently.
Yes. Showing some love for Thinker Themer. Okay, let's get this. Okay.
Yep, I do believe
it's another wheel. You're not doing the other one, huh?
No. Let's see. I think this will work. I think I don't have to rely on the Ninja. Hopefully, awesome. I did a little bit of experiment. I think one lucky winner is going to be getting some Galzyr. We'll find out shortly if I didn't mess it all up.
I do prefer the wheel. I just think
the wheel is fun. The wheel is just more fun. Michael Monahan, the big winner of the Super Deluxe Lands of Galzyr. Michael, I hope you like epic, stirring adventures with cute, cuddly critters, because that's what you're going to be getting in the coming months. All righty.
Awesome.
Woo-hoo.
So, speaking of contests, we are going to change things up from this point on, correct?
Yes. Yes, we are, sir. I guess it's time, now that we've got... before we get to the big news, we should say our sponsor this week is Fun Again Games. Thanks for supporting the show, Fun Again. And they will also be our contest giveaway participant. They are, this week, we are going to be giving away, or they are going to be giving away a $50 gift certificate that you can use for any purchases you find on their sites. And we did confirm this in the past because people have asked. The nice thing is that $50 can go towards the game and or the shipping. So, and if you're overseas
nice.
and the shipping would be really dire, you could still get some good games, some great games, in fact. So, one lucky winner, as this is going to be a worldwide one. So, we'll have one drawing next week to win a $50 gift certificate from Fun Again Games. But as Ruel said, we do have some big changes to announce today. And let's start with, we're changing the way we do the contest, aren't we?
Yeah, we are. So, friends, normally we would say we have a secret word that we would say, and we're trying to get one up on each other, right? And that's been a lot of fun. But we want to involve you all a little more. So, moving forward, do you want to explain it, Rahdo?
Okay, yes. I mean, Ruel was very kind to say we want to involve you. We want to make you work for it, and we want to work a little bit less hard. Up until now, we've always had a secret word every episode, and we try to sneak it past each other, and then we tell you when the secret word came up. Folks, I'm telling you right now, the secret word for this week is Halloween.
Wow, you said it. You just said it. Halloween.
The secret word. But here's the deal. Here's the deal. You don't have to bother sending an email to contest@rahdo.com with the word Halloween. That's not what we're looking for. What instead is going to happen is during the top 10, at some point, we are going to say the secret word. One of us is going to say the word Halloween, just in kind of casual conversation. We're just going to keep on going. It's up to you to listen and catch when we say that. And what you want to do is send an email to contest@rahdo.com. And in the email or the subject, anywhere you need to say the game we were talking about when we said the secret word. So it's all on you, folks. Remember, the secret word is Halloween. At some point during the top 10, when you hear one of us say Halloween, make note of what that game was and send the game to contest@rahdo.com or contest@rahdo.com to enter to win a $50 gift certificate from our sponsor, Fun Again Games. Did that make sense? Any questions from the audience?
Yeah, let us know in chat if you have questions, folks. We'll remind you at the end of this, at the end of the show today, to I'll put this back up here to send that title of the game. That when we say Halloween, whatever game we're talking about, that's what we want to see in that email for the contest.
Yeah, it's a good idea. We'll remind you again at the end of the show. I see one question. So, who's the final winner? I think. Ruel, do you have your crown nearby? Because
I do.
Of course he does. Ruel has all kinds of props. He's a regular prop streamer. Ruel is the king of the secret word R&R show for all times. He beats me. And from now on, folks, it's up to you to find the word because I just couldn't keep up. I was looking into my future. And I was just going to sink deeper and deeper into the hole of losingdom, and that was going to be very embarrassing for everybody.
It was so much fun. I really had a great time with that. But I'm looking forward to this because I think this is going to be a lot of fun as well, especially for all of you watching. To keep track of when we're going to say because it's going to be a little trickier, I think, and a little
exactly.
Like you said, you're going to have to work
for your
for
games. And you know what? Not everybody's going to do it. So I think actually for the people who spot it, their chances of winning probably just went up.
Agreed.
Probably very significantly. We'll see how it goes. I'm very excited about this first change, but we have more announcements.
We have some big changes. Yes.
All right. So folks, I just made Twitch affiliate. Hooray!
Yeah.
Now, a lot of folks don't know what that means. That means basically I have graduated to the professional level of a Twitch streamer, which is odd because you may have noticed today we're only streaming on YouTube and Facebook. And that is because as a pro Twitch streamer, there is a 24-hour exclusivity window where after you've live streamed, you can't put it on any other channel for 24 hours. So here's the way the situation is going to be moving forward. The R&R show is still going to go up on Facebook and Twitter and YouTube and Board Game Geek and every place, just like you've always come to expect. Every Wednesday, there's going to be a new R&R where we talk about top 10s, where we try to sneak a secret word past you and all the rest of it. But if you would like to watch live, we will be live on Twitch Tuesdays. From now on, the show is going to be still at noon, a West Coast Pacific time. We'll still be doing all the live hijinks. It'll be on Twitch. And I'm actually really excited about it because there's a lot of really cool things you can do with Twitch. Like one is we can give out rewards for people who keep watching. And so we've already been talking about some very, very cool things that I don't think any other Twitch channel has ever done that just creates more back and forth between the audience and the show. So, you can look forward to that. Also, in case you're a fan of the show and you've always wanted to support us, but you just like you don't have any spare cash. If you're an Amazon Prime member, did you know you can financially support the show at no cost to yourself? Amazon can pay us to do the show. If you're an Amazon Prime member, you can subscribe to the show for free. That means you watch it without ads. We get a little something, which pretty much just goes right to Ruel because I'm paying the man to be here. He wouldn't be here otherwise. I don't know. Actually, I haven't asked. I assume he's got other places to be. And there's a bunch of other stuff we're going to do too, unique emojis and all of that. So starting next week, Twitch Tuesdays at noon. And I will do a lot of updates on the YouTube channel so nobody misses the switch over. It's still going to be the same show. Actually, it's going to be even better because I think being over on Twitch is going to let us loosen up a little bit. And we've talked about maybe bumping it up beyond the harsh 60-minute limit. So we're going to have a longer show because I know a lot of people are always frustrated. We get to the end of the show and we're like, don't stop, keep going, answer more questions. So we're going to be able to lengthen the length of the show. Also, I know some people were always kind of frustrated with Wednesday because we overlapped with another very popular board game show. So we're now free and clear so you can watch us and them without any overlap. So nothing's changing. If you just catch the show whenever, it'll be put live on YouTube on Wednesdays, but you can catch us live on Twitch Tuesdays starting at noon. There'll be all kinds of notifications in the coming days about that. Did I miss anything?
No, you covered it, my friend. That is awesome. Yeah, I'm really excited about this. Folks who haven't been on Twitch, there's a really cool board game community there, and there is some overlap with the YouTube community as well. So it's really fun, and especially as Rahdo was talking about, we have these new changes that we're excited about, where you're going to spend your channel points that you earn as you watch.
Yes, that's the term.
Yeah, you're going to help us make it more of a variety show. We're going to be doing a lot of different things, and so come on over to Twitch on Tuesdays. But again, if you like hanging out here on YouTube, every Wednesday we're still going to be here. It's still going to be up here, so no worries about that.
Cool.
All right, cool. So then that's the big news.
That was the big news. We are done.
That was it.
Which Tuesdays is announced. The new rules. Remember, folks, when we start the top 10, listen for the word Halloween. I need to make note. Let's see. Yeah, we agreed what game it was going to be. Right. Okay. Yep. Going to keep that up. And I think otherwise we're good to go, right?
Let's do this. Yeah. So this week's topic, friends, are the top 10 games we'd buy right now.
Okay. Yes, we are.
And there's so many games out there, folks. I mean, the ones that I had, this was another tough list for me to do because I wanted to talk about 15 different games. I had to pare it down to 5 so we can share. So I'm gonna start with my
and that'll be an interesting thing when we switch over next week and we have more time to breathe.
Yeah.
One of the things we can do is, hey, what are some of the things that didn't make the top 10?
Exactly.
So we'll be able to dive deeper. We'll be able to answer questions. What about this or this or this? It's going to be fantastic starting next week when we
really
spread our wings on Twitch Tuesdays for the R&R show.
Stretch with us. Yes.
There you go. Yes.
All right.
There will be no calisthenics required. Don't worry.
Okay. Then I'm definitely going to be there then.
Okay, so this is, I believe, the third time we've done the, what games would we like to buy right now? We tie it in with Fun Again Games, our sponsors. So what we've done over the last 24 hours is gone through the Fun Again website, and each of us have found 5 games that really jumped out as us, as if we were putting our money on the table, it would be for these right now. Is my screen shared?
Your screen is being shared right now. Boom.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
So, and the interesting thing is, folks, you can see why Halloween is the secret word. This is not, we haven't talked about games yet.
Doesn't count yet.
This is to tie in with Fun Again Games' Halloween sale right now. And oh my gosh, folks, we're going to probably talk about, I know I've got several games that are on sale right now that are ridiculously low prices. I've never seen prices this low, but there were some other games that aren't on sale that I just got to talk about as well. I think you're the same. We each have 5, so we're ready to go, right?
Okay. All right, let's get this going. My number 10.
What is your number 10?
I want to make sure I pronounce this right. I believe it's called Pakal. P-A-K-A.
How do you spell that?
P-A-K-A-L. Pakal or Pakal. Yeah.
All right, let's find that.
There it is. Yeah.
Right.
So I'm
Tell us about it.
Yeah, this is a real-time sliding puzzle game, okay? And each player is going to have this little grid. It looks like a grid. And if you remember, this is actually a throwback to my childhood. Do you remember those sliding puzzles that we would do? They'd have the numbers 1 through 15, and it would be all mixed up, and you'd have to try to put them in numerical order by sliding the tiles around. This takes that and makes a game out of it, a real-time game where you're trying to match the different colors that come up. So you'll have like a little scoring grid. It'll say like, it'll have like a blue, yellow, and red. And what you're trying to do is reveal those on your little board there. And you reveal them by sliding the tiles around, and one will pop up. And then you try to get all three or whatever, two of those. And then when you have that combination correct, you grab one of the scoring tiles. The scoring tile, what that allows you to do is move on the scoring track up until that color. So if I grab like the blue one, if the blue one's like 5 spaces away, then I move 5 spaces at the end of the round. And it's a race to, the finish line there. What I like about it, though, is like after each round, the player who's in the lead, I think this is such a cool little catch-up mechanism. The player who's in the lead, they remove one of their tiles. So instead of like I think they're red, instead of a block, a solid block, now it's a clear tile, and you're revealing more things. So it gets tougher to reveal just those colors, because you can't just reveal any colors. You have to reveal specifically the ones that are on the scoring grid there. So I already know this is going to be a hit with Michelle, because we love these type of puzzles. It's funny, we actually talk about these sliding puzzles all the time, how we love these when we were a kid. And I was terrible at them. I would always like eventually just take the tiles out and pop them back in the order that they were supposed to go. But I don't think I'm going to do this with this one. This one's from Cranial Creations. It's on sale now at Fun Again, and that is Pakal.
That is interesting. I was aware of this game, and I knew the core idea that it takes those classic 15 sliding puzzles. But that is really interesting how they gamified up that you're not just trying to solve the puzzle, but you're trying to hit specific targets to be able to move forward on your track. That actually sounds really cool. I kind of ignored this up till now, but I think you're right. I think Jen would really dig this as well, because I've recently discovered my wife has fallen hard in love with beautiful, well-crafted, abstract-y type games, which it looks like that's what this is. Very bright, very colorful, and I mean, a very well-proven gameplay mechanism, the slider puzzle. Nice.
Yeah, it's a classic. All right. So that's my number 10.
This is not one from the Super Sale, I don't think. I don't remember seeing that on the Super Sale.
Yeah, I think this is just on the normal website. Yeah. Cool. So that's Pakal. And then you have your number 9.
Yeah, let's go on to my number 9, which is definitely coming straight from the Super Sale.
Okay.
All righty. See if I can find it. Do a quick search for Keyforge Dark Tidings.
Yes.
So, both the Keyforge Dark Tiding Archon deck and the Deluxe Archon decks are available right now. And an Archon deck for Keyforge at $4.99. These things retail for like $12.
Yeah.
I've never seen. Normally they get discounted down to $8. This is almost half the price of what you can get them elsewhere. And here's the deal. I mean, Keyforge, for folks who don't know, is what I like to call a dueling wizard game. It was co-designed by Richard Garfield, the creator of Magic the Gathering. And what makes it unique when you and I set up across the table from each other and duel, trying to beat each other and all of that, is we come with a deck of cards that is 100% unique to us. Every time you buy a deck of Keyforge, when they come in these little packs, that is a deck that will never exist again. It's a totally algorithmically generated, unique combination of special powers and characters and names and all of that. And I have been interested in this ever since it first came out. I love the idea of it. But the reason I've always stayed away from them is because it is a dueling wizard game. At the end of the day, it's just two players trying to beat the crap out of each other, which is not interesting to me at all. The reason this goes on the list, besides the fact that it's at such a ridiculously low price. I mean, why not take a gamble when you're talking about such a low price? Is the fact that Fantasy Flight Games recently released cooperative rules for Keyforge.
Yes.
And I think I might have heard about that on the R&R show, but somebody in the chat mentioned it at one point.
I think you're right.
Oh my gosh, I have to try that. Basically, you can download some print and play stuff to make some extra cards for the bad guys that players cooperatively fight against. I really want to try this because I've always just wanted to experience Keyforge with all that really cool idea of the unique decks. And the gameplay seems really cool too. This whole thing of unlocking keys and all that, instead of it's just all about just straight up punching. There's a little bit more to it. But now that you can play it cooperatively, I am all about trying to experience Keyforge, and there's never been a better time with my number 9, Keyforge Dark Tidings.
Yeah. I love Keyforge. Now this was actually on my list as well. It didn't quite make it, but it was there. Because like you're saying, $5 for a deck, folks. That's all it is. You get a friend or a family member or whoever. That's $5 each, and you can play this game. It's so much fun. I played the original, and I think I played the season 2 deck or whatever. But
so you have played Keyforge as a dueling game.
I think you now that it has a cooperative version, I really think you're going to enjoy it because you're going to see all the different combos that you can chain together. It's a lot of fun. You do see that Richard Garfield influence in this game, and I think with the Dark Tidings deck, it actually replaces one of the old factions, so it has like more of like a darker theme, and I think they can like copy cards and stuff like that. So yeah, this one's another one that I'm interested in as well. So that's
And one thing I should say, as I understand it, I mean, there's two things you can get. You can just get a deck, which means all you're getting is a deck, but you're not getting the little cardboard pieces that you need. You know, the keys and the mana tokens or whatever, which is where the deluxe is. The deluxe is a deck plus all of the counters and the tokens and whatnot.
Yeah, and I would, again, if you just want to try it out, of course, get it at the $5 price. But honestly, those things are great because then you don't have to use your own dice or try to, we used to, like when we first started playing, we made our own counters and stuff. But the deluxe stuff is much better, and I think a couple of dollars more. Come on, it's worth it. I think, in my opinion. All right.
Well, that was number 9. What is our number 8?
Number 8. Where's my list? Okay, my number 8. Oh, okay. It is. I want to say this correctly. I know there's a British way to say it and an American way to say it. Equinox or Equinox. I believe Equinox is the American.
I think so. I mean, in my head, I just said Equinox. I couldn't stop myself from pronouncing it that way.
This is from Plan B Games. This caught my eye right away because of 2 words, friends. Reiner Knizia. Come on, I love Reiner Knizia games. This was. I don't know. Did you do a run through of this, Rahdo?
I have never covered it. I mean, this is a remake of an older game called Colossal Arena, and I've never covered the original one. No.
Yeah, and I didn't play the Colossal Arena. Haven't played this one yet, but again, I like the artwork. Is it Plan B Games that does it? I think it's Plan B. Their components are artwork to me. They're like top of the game. One of the better companies that do art and components for their games. And this one is a classic Reiner Knizia bidding game. And I think this caught my eye not only because of Knizia, but the fact that I just played Raw again for the first time in years and absolutely love that game. I think that is a masterpiece of a game. And this is another bidding game, and what you're doing is instead of a Colossal Arena, this is more about like mysterious creatures, right, in the forest or whatever. And you're bidding. It's basically a bidding game. You're betting on which you can influence certain creatures, and after each round, one creature is going to go away. And as the rounds progress, you're eventually going to have like 3 creatures remaining, and then you reveal your secret bet and any bets that you've had previously, and then you score. Obviously, if you have the winner and you bet on the winner on the very first round or has your secret bet, that's going to multiply. I think it's like times 5 or whatever. And as you get progressively later in the game, you don't get quite as big of a payout. Which reminds me a little bit, like if you played like Camel Up, those, really simple racing betting games, it's similar like that. But again, Knizia, I'm always excited about his games. And this one, is this one on sale? I don't know if this is on sale.
No, I don't believe this was in the super sale.
It's not the super sale.
It's just, at a regular discount,
20% off,
20% off. But I mean, I'm really interested in this. I'd always wanted to play Colossal Arena as well. But I don't know if Jen would have been interested because it is still at the end of the day, okay, we're taking bets on, the outcome of conflict, and you're trying to manipulate the conflict a little. So, I mean, there's kind of a little bit of a bite to the theme, but the new version with the retheme looks so freaking gorgeous. I mean, right now on Fun Again, all we've got is just the box art to show you, but that gives you an idea of just how stunning the game is going to look as well. And Reiner Knizia, I mean, and this is one of his all-time classics that people love, brought up, dusted off for a new modern audience, which is great.
Yeah, I love it. So that's my number 8, Equinox.
Okay, before we go on, I was just checking the chat, and there are people saying that Colossal Arena was an excellent game, but also folks were wondering, so with the new Twitch Tuesdays playing at noon, how does that fit into the Ruel Gaviola channel schedule?
Tuesdays I stream at 7 p.m. Pacific. So we're going to have the R&R show, as always, at noon Pacific on Tuesdays. But then later on that night, I'll be streaming on my channel, folks. So you can catch me usually with my wife, Michelle, sometimes with other friends or family playing a game. I live stream games all the time over there. Things have been a little slow. Just I've been reacclimating myself to live streaming after, some travel lately. I don't know what it is. The older I get, the longer it takes for me to get back into my routine when I'm back home. The whole time zone thing. I was in Florida, I was in Indianapolis, all over the place lately. It's just taking me time. But anyways, feel free to join me on my Twitch channel for gameplay as well.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, I guess we'll have to end every Twitch Tuesday saying, okay, and folks, tune in later tonight for, whatever game you're playing that night.
Awesome.
I mean, I didn't even think of that we're actually kind of tying these two. That's really cool. I'm very happy about that now.
I'm super happy that you're affiliate now. This is gonna be a lot of cool things. Yes, it's gonna be a lot of cool things coming up. You're all grown up.
I'm all grown up on Twitch. Okay.
You have graduated, my friend. Okay.
Cool.
So let's move on to your number 7 game.
Yes, my number 7. Now. I don't know. I think it was Amy in the chat. It wasn't Maggie because Maggie's asleep. But my number 7 is Frutticola. Which we actually talked about briefly last week or 2 weeks ago in the Essen Games of Essen. I was really interested in, and then when I saw it was available here, cut down significantly in price.
Oh wow!
In a big way, you get a lot of stuff for this game, and when I saw it was on, I'm like, okay, I want to learn more about this game. I'd only studied a little bit at Essen. And so I watched Thinker Themer's video of it, which they did a fantastic job. 100% sold me on it. The core idea of this game, very nice and Euro-y mechanisms with a lovely theme about harvesting fruits to make fruit juice, basically. But the core of the game is that you have a handful of cards, and everybody's going to play a card simultaneously every round. That will determine your initiative based on the number, very kind of Gloomhaven style. It will also determine what workers you will have available to you that round, because it's a worker placement game. And it will also determine what special power you get. And I didn't realize this until I watched Thinker Themer, what thing holds you back. The more powerful the card, the faster you go, the more workers you have, the more it's going to have some kind of poison pill that you have to work around. I love this idea so much. I so want to play the game. And if people would like to know more, go check out Thinker Themer's channel. Or, hey, I just looked. Amy is still. You can ask her in the chat right now.
Cool.
Yeah, and it looks fantastic. Oh, no, I was going to say, it looks like it plays fantastically. The box cover itself does not do it any favors.
And we talked about this before, yeah.
Yep. But,
and I remember it was tough, like trying to figure out how to spell the name. I remember we're like trying to figure out how to spell it because it's Frutticola, but it's not spelled like fruit.
But without an I, it's I guess spelled the Italian way or something like that. But it looks great. It has a big markdown off its original price, 38% off, saving $25 on this thing.
Wow!
I don't want to get too much into the savings and all that. I mean, folks can decide for themselves if it's a reasonable cost. Yeah. I've just wanted this game ever since we did the Essen show, and then when I saw I could talk about it again, and I watched Amy and Maggie talk about it on Thinker Themer, I was like, okay, I must play this game before the year is out. I mean, this could be the mechanism sounds so good to me. It could be a top 10 of the year candidate.
Oh,
and so I'm really looking forward to trying this thing. My number 7, Frutticola.
Awesome. Yeah, that it does look fantastic, and I'm glad we know how to spell it correctly now.
Oh yeah, because it took me like 5 minutes to find it because I have to spell F-R-U-I-T. Yes.
Okay, let's move on to my number 6, friends. My number 6. So we had talked about an abstract game earlier. I'm going back to the abstract thing here. Mandala Stones from Board and Dice. Mandala Stones. And I actually have Michelle and I are going to be playing this on my Twitch channel. I think in 2 weeks or so, we've got a stream set up with Board and Dice. This is an abstract game that reminds me a little bit of Azul or Reef, where you're it's strictly an abstract. You're just looking at colors and patterns here, but it's got that 3-dimensional element of Reef that I really dig. And on your turn, you're doing one thing per turn. You're either going to collect a stone, one of those beautiful mandala stones, to place on your player board, or you're going to score the stones that are already on your board. And there's different ways to score. It's very simple, yet could be a little complex abstract game, which I like. You're going to score either the color of your stones that are on top of your player board, or they're actually 3-dimensional stacks, and there's going to be a way to score the different ones below the top ones as well. And then you also could collect sets, and there's I think it's a little black marker. They're called the artists. You're going to move the artists around, not Prince, but the artist thing here. You're going to move those around, and that's going to determine how you move stones. Oh my gosh. This feels to me like, again, I haven't played it yet, but it feels like to the next level of like Azul or Reef.
I would put it in. It definitely goes in that bucket. It definitely lives on your shelf alongside those really beautiful, abstract, puzzly, thinky games.
Yeah, and I did see the Brothers Murph. They recently played it on their live stream over here on Twitch, and Brothers Murph were fantastic. And Michelle and I watched it, and we said immediately, we need to play this game. I know this. Azul's a huge favorite in our house. We actually like Azul Summer Pavilions better now, but I think this will be the next big one in our household. And that's Mandala Stones. That is my number 6 game that
I will add one more thing. Jen and I, we played it for the first time last month as a Patreon backer only Rahdo Relaxes video. So Jen and I played it. Jen named it her game of the month.
Nice.
I mean, and last month was a very good month. We played a lot of really good games, but for Jen, it stood head and shoulders above everything.
That's so nice.
Really, really sharp. You are going to love it.
I can't wait. That's my number 6. All right.
Alrighty then. So, then I guess we should move on to my number 5, which is Kingdom Rush: Rift in Time.
Oh,
I don't. Are you familiar with this game at all?
I do have a copy on my shelf of shame/opportunity.
Oh my gosh, you
and I'm looking at the price. What? That is almost
$32. And this game has a metric boatload of stuff in it. This is another one that's like, I mean, it's marked down 45%. It was another one on the Super Halloween sale. So it's a great game. I actually covered it when it was on Kickstarter a couple of years ago from publisher Lucky Duck Games, if I recall correctly. It's a cooperative tower defense game where every round, wave after wave after wave of bad guys are spawning and walking down a path trying to get to you. And it's a deck builder because we're building up our deck of cards that basically launch our defenses to fight them off. The thing that really makes it unique is you fight them off Tetris style. Every time you play a game that says archers or fireballs from wizards or whatnot, that lets you cover up the grids on these advancing cards with little Tetris pieces. So at any given point, once the game gets going, it's like you're kind of simultaneously playing 4 or 5 games of Tetris at the same time, because each one of these cards represents a different little Tetris battleground that players are trying very carefully to maneuver themselves, because you can actually just go out and put their cool little miniatures that just directly stomp on them. And it's like a little 2x2 coverage, or you do the fireballs that are like the little S shape from Tetris. And it's an incredibly puzzly game, and yet still very, very fast-paced, very action-packed, really thematic, but much more puzzly than pretty much any. I mean, there's been a bunch of tower defense style board games over the last few years, ever since I think King's Army was the first one that came out many, many years ago. And I really think this is the zenith of the art form at this point. Jen and I were really blown away by it, which is why I had to put it on this list when I saw it was on the super sale. My number 5, Kingdom Rush: Rift in Time.
Awesome. Yeah, I cannot wait to get this off my shelf and on the table, because I remember I punched it out and I was ready to go, and just I had some other things happening, and I wasn't able to play it. But yeah, as far as tower defense games, this looks absolutely fantastic, and I cannot wait to get to the table. Okay. Everything okay with the phone? I saw the phone. Or heard the phone.
Yes. I got a call. They can leave a message, because right now I'm here for you folks.
Yes.
Not for those folks.
All right. Let's move on to my number 4.
I believe, correct?
And I just checked this right before we went live. You did, this game. I have not played it yet. I'm super excited about Unforgiven: The Lincoln Assassination Trial.
Oh my gosh! Yes.
I know you just, you've recently, I think you did a run through, correct?
We did. Jen and I covered it when it was on Kickstarter. This game's got a lot going on. Yeah.
Yeah. So first of all, this is about the trial of I think her name was Mary Surratt or something. She was one of the people tried for treason, because she was behind the plot to, or she was one of the people behind the plot to assassinate President Lincoln. And what you're doing in this game, one player is the prosecutor, one's the defense, and it's a big tug of war. You are playing, one's trying to prove that she's guilty, the other's trying to prove her innocence. What drew this game to me, just really caught my eye. I've just fallen in love with the game Watergate. Okay, so it's a political, like another political game, tug of war, and I was like, oh, Unforgiven sort of reminds me of that, but it also reminded me of Seven Wonders Duel. It's got this tableau of cards, right?
Here's the elevator pitch.
Go ahead and talk. Yeah.
Seven Wonders Duel meets Watergate. In the post Lincoln assassination trial.
Yeah,
that's the game.
Awesome. And that's why I got excited, because Michelle and I, we played Watergate earlier this year for the first time. We loved it. We played it like almost a dozen times now. She hasn't played Seven Wonders Duel yet, but I love Seven Wonders Duel. And then seeing this, plus the theme, I like these type of games. Like, I'm really drawn to this political style game, this historical game, but I'm not really a war gamer. So it takes like, these themes and this history that I'm interested in, but it's played differently than like a standard war game, right? So,
Right.
you have, I believe there's like is there deck building in this? And
not exactly. I mean, basically, it does the card drafting of
card drafting.
Seven Wonders Duel, that whole pyramid, and every time I take a card, now I've revealed a card that's perfect for you, so I don't want to take the card I really want.
Right.
All that kind of stuff. And so, I mean, you are getting access to cards over the course of the game, but you're using them to get the resources, which could be swaying of the jury and whatnot. And at any given time, you've got 3 different tug of war battles where you're trying to sway the feelings of the various jurors. And everything about this game has so much attention to history. The rule book goes deep into who all of these people were, all of the conspiracies that were behind it.
Love it.
Was she innocent or guilty? Was she railroaded? In real history, as I recall, she was the first American woman ever executed by the federal government. And to this day, it is still hotly debated if she got. And so you can basically redecide history right now in a brilliant game. It's got cool custom dice. It's got really great card drafting. And I mean, history comes alive in a really, really awesome way. I'm very impressed. It's an excellent choice.
That's cool. Yeah, I'm so excited to check this out. And that is now available on Fun Again site, Unforgiven, the Lincoln Assassination Trial. One more thing about that real quick. I was thinking about, I like these 2-player games that are a little shorter as well, because these are easier for me to get to the table with Michelle. So Unforgiven, I believe it plays in about 45 minutes or so.
I would say so. I mean, your first game's going to be a bit longer because there's a lot to take in and so many things you're juggling. But no, I mean, once you get the game down, I would say that's a very comfortable time for it. Yeah.
Awesome. Cool. All right. So that was my number 4, Unforgiven, the Lincoln Assassination Trial. Let's move on.
All right. Let's move on to my number 3, Pandoria Merchants. Which is a game that has definitely definitely flown under the radar, and it's part of this super sale that's going on right now. And when I saw it, this game made my top 10 of last year. It is, I would have to say, for the record, the heaviest, crunchiest roll and write the industry has ever seen. It eclipses everything else. Roman roll, nope. The Hadrian's Wall, nope. Fleet the Dice game, nope. Gonzone Clever, forget about it. This game is as big and crunchy and heavy as a game 3 times its size and weight. Even though on the surface it just looks like a really simple little roll and write. Basically, we are a bunch of fantasy races, hobbits and orcs and trolls. Each of us have our own special powers. We've come to the same new world in Pandoria, and we're spreading our influence throughout the land and just trying to grab resources. But as we are claiming the land, we're also basically trying to create patterns that we can roll and write style, kind of like Tetris, making polyomino things out of the patterns we're trying to create. Because when we do that, that lets us unlock more special powers. And now this is a roll and write version of Pandoria. In the original Pandoria, which was even heavier still, you had a whole bunch of cards, and it was basically a deck builder. Here, it's still basically a deck builder. It's just that you can see all the cards you can buy laid out on your second sheet. This is a roll and write where you've got 2 sheets. The one that is the map, and then everybody has their own where they're keeping track of everything, all the resources they've gathered, all the special powers they've unlocked as the world just gets bigger and bigger. Jen and I were blown away by it. Like I said, it was one of my top 10 of the year. And the thing that made me happiest about it, because I thought Pandoria was also a brilliant game from Iron Games, designer Bernd Eisenstein. And the original Pandoria, my only problem with it was also a very aggressive area control game where you were constantly, you thought you had it all. Well, I'm going to kick you right out. And now I control that area. In this game, because it's a roll and write, once you write it, you own it. No one can take it from you. So there's a lot of one-upsmanship and brinksmanship, but it never really feels really mean or aggressive the way a lot of area control games can. It's really, very, very clever. And again, I cannot stress just how heavy it gets. Also, it comes with a really interesting, puzzly, campaign. So I got 5 chapters, a solo game as well, which I only messed around with a little bit. But Pandoria Merchants is my number 3.
Wow. I remember there was also a card game. Wasn't there a Pandoria card game as well? Um,
No.
yeah, I don't know. I don't
Mm.
remember. I think it might have been retitled. I don't know if it had the word Pandoria in it, but I do remember it being pretty mean and it was just like the board game. So
Mm.
it's nice to hear that they've taken the things you like about the game and made it more. I don't know, a nicer version of it, I guess,
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
roll and
I
write.
it's just a fun game. I mean, there are 2 dice. It is a roll and write, and every round you roll the dice, you put them together, and that basically creates a domino of symbols. That is how you're going to try and fill out the board, trying to get all the patterns and whatnot. It's very impressive, and
Awesome.
like I said, completely flew under the radar. If I had been at Essen that year, every time you're at a convention, people always ask, "What's the secret gem that nobody's heard of at this
Yeah.
show?" Pandoria Merchants was that gem at last
Awesome.
year's Essen, and now it is available. It's my number 3.
Awesome. Cool. Cool. Okay. We're getting to the top of the heap here, folks. So,
All right.
my number 2 game that I would buy right now, and it's actually my number 1. If y'all know me, it's no surprise. My number 2 is Twilight Imperium 4th edition Prophecy
Uh-huh.
of Kings. Yes.
Right.
This
I
is,
saw this and I knew there was no way that wasn't going
yeah.
to make your list. Oh, let's see.
Yeah.
If I can spell Twilight, Twilight. I'll just do that and forget about the Imperium. All right.
Yeah.
It was
So, Twilight
Prophecy of
Imperium, the
Kings.
Prophecy of Kings. This is the expansion. Look at that. It is marked off 35%.
I don't want to just keep on drilling on these savings, but I mean, I looked this one up because this is a hard game to get, and it's going
Yeah.
for over $100 all over the place,
Yep.
and they got it down to $64.99. Again, sorry, people can decide for themselves
Yeah.
if that's a reasonable price or if it's too much or too little. But
I,
yeah,
I
tell
think
us
it
all about
is.
the Prophecy of Kings, Ruel.
So my favorite game of all time is Twilight Imperium 4th edition. I love it. It's more of an event than a game because it's going to take you all day to play, folks. There's no way around it. So my friends and I, we love getting together once in a while, especially now that things are getting safer. We're going to be able to play in person again. But Twilight Imperium, it is a 4X game. But what they did going from 3rd edition to 4th edition was they took a little bit of the 4Xs. They took the Explore out, to streamline things. But now with this Prophecy
Really?
of Kings expansion, yeah, they put it back in. Okay, but they
Wait a minute,
do it
wait.
in more.
Are you saying the latest version of Twilight Imperium, if you do not have this expansion, is really a 3X game?
I would say it's more of like a 3.5x. 3.5x.
Wow. And so
Okay,
this kind of completes Twilight Imperium is what you're saying.
it's from what I understand, yes, it's going to complete it, and
Wow.
it adds a bunch of new stuff as well. You've got so you've always had I think it's 17 asymmetrical factions. This adds in more factions. This also adds in leaders, which are going to give you even more asymmetric abilities. It has mechs, so you have the mechs. Oh my folks, I saw this expansion when it came out during the pandemic. I went goo goo gaga, but I was also sort of bummed out because there's no way I was going to play it because we were all in lockdown.
Of
But
course.
now that things are starting to open up, I'm going to let y'all know right now. I already have my first game of this planned in 3 weeks. I've got my friends. We're going to play. We've got it all set. Someone has the expansion already, but I'm still going to buy it, honestly, because it's my favorite game of all time. What else does it have? It's got new factions, the leader expansion, a little more exploration, and if you love this type of game, if you never played it, folks, this was on my bucket list for many years. Twilight Imperium. When I finally played it, it lived up to all the hype and then some. Again, I knew going in it was going to be an all-day affair, but my first game, it was about only quote unquote about 5.5 hours. So I thought I was gonna be there for 10. So you do have to commit to the game time or be committed if you like this type of game. But I absolutely love it, and there's no way I'm not going to get this expansion. Twilight Imperium 4th edition, Prophecy of Kings.
Right. So that is our number 2 of the list, your personal number 1.
Yes,
Wow.
absolutely.
Okay.
I mean, it's a space opera in a box. I love, I'm a Star Wars, Star Trek geek. This has elements of that as well, but it really is epic. It's epic in every sense of the word, including brain melt. Like my brain is like fried anytime I play this. But
the chat is Gator Dave saying I never would have pegged Ruel as a TI4 man or guru.
Yeah,
and honestly, I wouldn't have either when I first started watching your show.
Yeah, I mean, you see the stuff that I usually play on Twitch channel. I love Gateway games. I love Gateway Plus games. Some of the heavier stuff I like Brass Birmingham, Terraforming Mars, those type of games. but for whatever reason, I don't know if it's the theme or just the fact that I like this story element of, hey, we start in our little corner of the galaxy just with a couple of ships, and we slowly but surely make out to the middle of the board, and we're going to fight, and so all kinds of, good battles, and it always tells an epic story. Like I've played the game, I think 14 times. I can tell you the storyline of each one. Yeah, that's how much I love this game. Michelle thinks I'm crazy. What are you going to do? It's
so you have not gotten her. You have not gotten her to the table with it.
No, she would never play this. No, that's not her jam. But anyways, that's my number 2, Twilight Imperium Prophecy of Kings.
And I think a lot of people would join you as their number ones as well. I'm sure Shay would certainly agree as his number one.
And that's how I learned the game. That's how I learned the game was from Shay. And speaking of Shay,
really?
His video is the one video I tell everyone to watch before I teach the game. And say, you will have to watch Shay's video.
No, I mean, that video of his and his how to teach videos are what convinced me he should be on the Rahdo channel, because I thought he was just such a perfect fit. So Twilight Imperium is changing lives all over the place.
Yeah, absolutely. And we actually did a video for Prophecy Kings, folks. Find Shay's channel, and we did like this little comedy bit where Shay and I go over Prophecy Kings. It's funny, so check that out. Okay. Let's get to the number 1.
Well, my number 1.
Drum roll, please.
My number 1 is the only one that wasn't on the big sale. Because I mean, there were a lot more great games on the big sale, folks. You can go check it out on Fun Again's page if you want. But when I saw Fun Again has Anno 1800 in stock, I was like, okay. This also made my top 10 games of last year because I played the German version. It is only just now coming out with an English version as well. And this is, I'm not going to say it's the best Civilization board game of all time. I'm still going to give that to Nations. But if I spend more time with Anno, or if Anno gets an expansion, it could push its way into my top 10 games of all time because I love everything about this. It's a Martin Wallace designed game based on, I guess, a very, very popular video game series that I know nothing about. I've never played the video game. But, at its heart, we are a bunch of nameless, nations who are trying to, expand our influence and exert our dominion over the world, or at least that's what it looks like. At first glance, it looks like an era of colonization game, which is just all about, look, we send out, we get colonies and this and that and the other. But the interesting thing, and apparently this is true for the video game as well, it kind of subverts all of the era of colonization tropes of games, because your goal in this game, you are not some rich person trying to make a lot of money by exploiting the new world. You are a government official, and your metric for whether you succeed or fail is how much prosperity you bring into the lives of your citizenry and into the lives of the citizens of the new world as well. This is a game that does not feature any conquering. This is a game all about exploration that leads to trade rather than domination. Trade, which lifts all boats. And the core message of this game, which I talked about at great length in my top 10 games of the year when I did the update for it back in April, is just such an ode to working together, working with people. And that's not only in the theme where, it's basically, this is an alternate world where the era of colonization never happened. And instead, an era of cooperation across the oceans is what was born. And that is borne out by the actual mechanisms. You are engaging with trade with the new world. You are just as invested in improving their lives as the citizens of your own, your old world. But the cooperation, even though this is a competitive game, works its way into how I interact with you as well. Because this is a game where the main thing you're trying to do is harvest resources so you can build buildings that will make other resources so you can harvest more resources. It's a very big, elaborate tech tree game, basically. And the thing is, any one player, it is impossible for them to individually manufacture all the different branches of a tech tree that they are trying to develop over the course of the game. And to be successful at this game, you must rely on your fellow players. Oh, you're the one who's invested in sales. Okay, I'm going to save myself a lot of money and just start using yours. And you will get a huge benefit. One of the things that makes me so happy about the game is this is not a game of zero-sum economics. It doesn't try to simplify things down into black and white, because when I use your building so that I can get the resources I need, the payment you receive doesn't come from me. I don't just transfer funds over. It comes from the supply. So everybody feels like they win. Nobody feels shortchanged. It's not I win, you lose, I won up to you. This game, everything about it, I just found to be a beautiful ode to humanity at its best. A history that we could have had instead of course, the history that we did have. And, I know this for a fact. Some people don't believe it, but I've actually talked to the developers and said, yeah, that is totally what we were going for. We were trying to use this board game as a piece of art to explore what the world could be instead of what it was. And I doff my cap and applaud Cosmos Games and Martin Walsh and everybody else who worked on it. It's my number one, and it's on sale as well, although it's not on super sale. But when I saw that they have it in stock, I had to put it. My number one is Anno 1800.
Wow. So I've heard a lot of good things about this game, and actually, chat. There's a lot of people that have played it. They love it as well, and I didn't know exactly what it was about. You just sold me on this game. I love this idea of let's cooperate together and move civilization forward. And oh my gosh, wow! So this is top 10 for you right now.
Well, this is in my top 10 for games of last year. It is my number one on this list. Nice. Interestingly, a lot of people don't realize this. Officially, what does it say here on the page? It says it's a 2 to 4 player game. The developers have come up with a really great solo system, which I demoed in my run through. They actually sent me an early version of it. Apparently, folks who were at Essen Spiel, what was it? Just last week, I guess, were able to pick up the solo expansion, and I believe it's going to be made available in English very soon. So, and if you watch my run through, you'll see it's an excellent solo game also. So if you're looking for a real, it's not available yet, but it will be soon. It is available in German right now. If you're looking for a really great 4X style game, but no, it's not 4X. It eschews all of that. It is a game all about people working together to everyone's mutual benefit. Yes, there's still going to be one winner. There's going to be one player who does it better than anybody else. But just the idea that I don't measure my victory in glory. I don't measure my victory in how much money I have. I measure my victory in how many people's lives I have improved. Everybody who I touch, if I can improve their lives, I will win this game. And that's beautiful. That's a message we should see more in our day-to-day life.
Agreed, 100%. Yes. All right, friends, those are the top 10 games we buy right now. Thanks to our sponsor again, Fun Again Games. We have a few more minutes. Should we? You want to do a little Q&A?
We went pretty quick.
Yeah. So let's do some Q&A, folks. Drop those questions in. And like I was saying, I saw a bunch of people, they really do have enjoy Anno 1800. So nice to see that.
I recommend it very highly for folks who like this kind of thing and would like to see not the same old story told. So while we're waiting for some questions to come in, let's remind everybody at some point in the last, 30, 40 minutes or so, we said the secret word Halloween. When did we say it? What game were we talking about at that point? You need to figure out what game it was in the top 10 countdown and send that in an email to contest@rahdo.com or contest, single or plural. I'll catch it either way. And if you get it right, then you will go into the spinning ball of names to win next week a $50 gift certificate from Fun Again. So good luck, everybody. And so all the pressure is off of us. This was much more relaxed. I wasn't having to constantly.
I was just going to say,
I can't wait for that moment.
Yeah,
we actually focus more on talking about the games.
I felt like that too. Like we weren't like spinning our wheels trying to, okay, when can we insert it? When can we? No, we were let everyone else figure it out. And folks, send that game title to contest@rahdo.com. I've got a question from the Lobby of Hobbies. He asked, Ruel and Rahdo, what is the best sparkling water brand? And I think everyone knows my answer. It's Topo Chico because es muy delicioso. Yes, Topo Chico.
Have you actually, for folks who don't know, apparently Ruel had a trip to, I forget where, Arkansas or someplace.
Tennessee,
New Orleans, I
Tennessee.
think. Yeah, to Tennessee, and you were exposed to this sparkling fruity water drink called
Topo Chico.
Topo Chico, and now you are literally addicted to the stuff.
Totally. You should see my garage. It's sad. I've got like cases and cases of empty bottles. Just we need to take them to recycling because they're going to take over my garage. We have board games and bottles basically. But yeah, that is the. Do you drink sparkling water, Rahdo?
I can't stand it. It's like drinking acid to me.
Yeah, Michelle's the same way. Michelle's not. She's not a sparkling water fan either. But Topo Chico is the correct answer, folks.
It burns and it's just unpleasant. And you know what? I just love water. What's wrong with just water?
Hey, I'm okay with water too. This is water is fine.
Perhaps we should hydrate, shall we?
Let's hydrate. Yes. Okay. Someone was asking, do you need the expansion to play solo? And I'm thinking that's for the 1800 game.
Well, there is no expansion for Anno 1800, and no, they're asking. here's what I got. I contacted them saying, "Hey, I finally got a copy of the German version. I'm so excited." And at the time on Board Game Geek, the developers were doing kind of a closed beta where they got volunteers and people would just print out their own stuff and play it at home. And I missed the window for that, but I said, "Hey, if you'd like to send me that information, I could actually film it so people would know that this is coming." And they said, "Okay, Rahdo, we'll let you in." And so they sent it to me. Now, all I needed to play it at that time was just this PDF printout with a set of rules. There was like a page I could print out because there was like a few things that changed and you just had to have like this little reference thing. But that's all I needed was the PDF. Now, I have not looked at whatever it was that they were handing out at Essen Spiel. I don't know if they elevated it and said, "Oh, well, hey, while we're at it, let's put some more tiles in," or something like that. I don't think they did. What I played, it was completely self-contained. I mean, I feel really bad because several people have asked. I've still got that PDF. I can play it right now. But they said, nope, Rahdo, we're still doing final testing. You can't, mum's the word. So I've kept it to myself. But my expectation is you will not have to pay extra to be able to play Anno 1800 solo. It's just that they're probably in the process of translating. Heck, for all I know, somebody who picked it up has already translated it manually, and you might find it on the Board Game Geek forums. I'm not quite sure.
Cool. Awesome. There's a question from Edward Taylor King. Hello. Love watching your power plants play earlier today, Rahdo. What's your favorite KTBG game? So Kids Table Board Game, is that correct? The name of the company?
That is correct. Kids Table Board Game. Who asked this question?
Edward Taylor King from Facebook. Hey, Edward Taylor King, thank you for joining us.
Hey, Facebook in the house.
Facebook, love it.
But not for much longer. Remember, folks, next week we're moving to Twitch Tuesdays. Although you'll still be able to see it on Facebook on Wednesday and whatever. Let's see here. I'm going to admit something very, very embarrassing.
Well,
I wrongly assumed, based on the name of the publisher, Kids Table Games, that everything they produced was, for kids.
Yeah,
and
right.
I have not really paid attention to any of their other stuff. That's not true. I have actually played a couple of them. Let's see what I'm looking on Board Game Geek now.
I really like them. Don't be fooled by the name, folks. They do produce some, very kid-friendly games, but they produce some really good, like family weight and just family weight above that even. I really enjoyed the Rec Raiders game they did.
Thank you. That's the one I was just trying to
Fantastic
find. I have
game.
Played Rec Raiders. And to answer the question, I would say Rec Raiders. That was a great little scuba diving treasure hunting game that Jen and I really enjoyed quite a bit as real-world professional. We're not professional. We're amateur scuba divers. I've been scuba diving since I was 12. So I love a good scuba diving themed game that pays attention to the scuba element. And they got a bunch.
The Rec Raiders is like a bunch of set collection, and they had the really cute diver meeples and stuff. We really enjoyed that game. Also, I just played. I did a live stream actually late last year of Creature Comforts, which is their take on worker placement. I thought that was excellent. So that'll be out, I think, next year sometime. So
now you would still, I think you would still call their stuff kind of gateway. Like Ticket to Ride level stuff that you could teach and play with anybody. That's when they say kids table, they're not saying, "Oh, this is only for kids." This is for. It wouldn't sound as good to say newbie table, a board game.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Cool. Let's see what else we got here. Have you seen Dune yet? I have not. Have you?
Yes, I have.
Preliminary thoughts. Sure is quiet.
It was beautifully done.
Yeah.
The quality of the visuals, the acting, the writing, everything was wonderfully done. But I literally struggled to stay awake. To be fair, I watched it late at night at home on HBO Max. Although I didn't watch on a small screen, we have a projector and a 10-foot screen. So I watched it on a jumbo screen, with like big booming sound and all of that. And again, it's a wonderfully produced film, but oh my gosh, it was a very ponderous. It did not need to run as long as it did to tell this very simple story that it tells. Now, I should hasten to add, I'm the weirdo who really digs David Lynch's Dune. You could say it's nostalgia, part of my childhood, because it blew my mind when I saw it. And I'm still waiting for Hollywood to pick up the let's have people whisper their thoughts out loud while doing a zoomed in close-up of them. That really hasn't seemed to caught on, but I love it. And if I were to sit down right now and hey, what do you want to play? I would watch Lynch's Dune any day. Now, to be fair, Lynch's Dune tells an entire story. Villeneuve's Dune only tells half the story, and fortunately, I am genuinely happy that part 2 has been greenlit. We're gonna finish the story. They're not gonna Empire Strikes Back it and then just leave us hanging forever. We will get and maybe when the whole thing comes together, maybe I'll be able to appreciate it on a deeper level. And again, I mean, I love the costume design. I love the special effects. I love the actors. I loved seeing the actors. Although honestly, again, I personally dig the Lynch force field effect more. I mean, I know it's cheesy and primitive, but it feels more alien. What everything that's in the new one just feels like, it just looks like any other movie. There's nothing really far out about it. But I enjoyed it, but I was kind of let down.
Yeah. Just to be fair, I have heard some people say, they also fell asleep, but I've heard other people like rave about it. So I'm not sure where I'm going to, because I've never read the books.
Nor have I. I am not a Dune head in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
I'm a Lynch Dune head.
Okay.
I'm
cool.
a Dune eraser head.
Dune eraser head. Love it. How about, let's see, another question. We got time for another couple of questions here. Quick ones. Mom Gamer says, have you read any interesting comics lately? Comic books or anything? I've read, the last one I read was Superman Smashes the Klan, which was a redo. What? Yeah, it was a redo of an old story, Superman against the KKK. And this was awesome. This graphic novel, I think, came out last year or the year before by Jean Luen Yang, who did American Born Chinese. He's a wonderful artist, wonderful storyteller. He actually is the writer, I think, for one of the new Superman series. But in his version of this, Superman is Asian American, Chinese American to be specific.
Oh, wow.
And it's during the 40s, and of course they have clashes with the Klan, and it's about this Chinese American family. It is wonderful. It is so well done. And spoiler alert, you will have some tears reading this graphic novel. It's wonderful. And I think Jean Luen Yang, he is just one of my favorite artists, comic artists and storytellers of these days. So that one, Superman Smashes the Klan, highly, highly recommend.
Wow. So that's like a Superman Elseworlds, like the the Red Sun, where he landed in Russia. Here, I mean, because things went differently, how did the whole story change? That sounds amazing.
It's really good, man.
I'm not going to suggest anything because I can't top that. That's awesome. Yeah. It sounds like everybody should go check that out.
Definitely. Let's see what else here. People are talking about Dune. Some people loved it. Some fell asleep. Okay, that's pretty much what I get as well. Oh, there's actually some people that enjoyed the Lynch version as well.
Yes.
All right. Someone, Josh asked,
has awoken, Father. The sleeper has awoken. I can quote that movie for days.
Dude, where is the nicest place you've been scuba diving?
Desert planet. I mean, it's like seeped into my bones, and that is just so weird and far out and funky, but it has life. I mean, it's cheesy and it's silly and it's low rent, but it just.
There's something to be said.
It was a bold and brave and many say failed experiment. I think Lynch himself disowned it as well, if I recall correctly.
I think he did, yeah.
Yeah.
Here's a question from Josh. Where's the nicest place you've been scuba diving?
Oh, really? We've been scuba diving in lots of places, but still our favorite would have to be Cozumel. My wife.
Oh, okay.
And now that we live back in the States, we've been talking about it. Ever since we moved back, we got to get back to Cozumel because that's some of the best drift diving in the world, which for folks who don't know means, okay, you go down to where you are, and then there's underwater currents that will just flow along. And it's like you're floating. It's like you're flying. You're not working. And it's like you're on an underwater, escalator, and you're just looking at all the beautiful sea life. And it's just so peaceful and tranquil. We've been twice. We loved it so much. Back in our 20s and early 30s, back when we lived in Texas. So it was a very quick flight for us just to get down there.
Okay.
And spend a weekend diving. Yeah, the drift diving, maybe it's not the best drift diving in the world, but it's certainly some of. And, before we eventually move back to Europe, we will go to Cozumel one more time and we will do some more drift diving. Yes.
Awesome. Yeah. Salamanda asks, would love to see y'all do a top 10 games to put on your Christmas list. Salamanda, that's a great way to, that's a great segue for me to say, we're going to be on Twitch next week. And if you start spending your channel points, which you'll earn by watching us, you can start suggesting things to us as well. So join us on Twitch Tuesdays, and perhaps we'll talk about those type of games we put on Christmas list.
Coming this Tuesday, Twitch Tuesdays, the R&R show. Get involved.
Yes.
You're going to be able to use your channel points. There's going to be polls during the show, all kinds of stuff. It'll still be a great show. It'll still be a solid top 10 if you can't be there live. But if you can, join us, won't you?
Yep. One final question. We'll get out of here. Mom Gamer asks, have you had dangerous encounters while scuba diving?
No.
No sharks.
The most danger, probably the most dangerous, the two most dangerous dives we ever did. We did a cenote dive, which means it's an underwater cave, and it was absolutely stunning. But if something goes wrong, you're a long way from air. So I mean, it was very well done. I'm sure we were safe. The most dangerous one was when we dove in Cyprus, and we were trying. While we were there, we did several dives to try to get our advanced diver certificate, and that included, I think, 100-meter dive. Or no, not 100-meter, 100-foot dive. That'd be way too deep, 100-meter dive. No. We had to do a 100-meter dive. And we had done everything else. We'd done several other dives. The last day, we had to do this one. And we had to do 2 dives. And we were scheduled to do 2 dives that day. But the night before, an unseasonal, almost hurricane-level storms had come through. And it had, completely destroyed visibility. And we went down, and we were terrified. It was a wreck dive. Like I said, it was a 100-feet dive. And you couldn't see more than 2 or 3 feet in front of your face. Neither of us, and I've been diving since I was 12, had ever experienced anything like that. I think the dive guides didn't realize how bad it would be. And they would not let us go down the second time because it was too dangerous. Wow. And so we are still just one dive away from getting our advanced, PADI scuba certificates. I don't know. Maybe we have to do the whole thing now because that was probably 5-6 years ago. But I mean, that was terrifying because the funky thing is when Jen and I, we for years have had this cool little, it's not a regular goes in your mouth. It creates a bubble around your mouth so we can talk. I think these are much more common, but 10 years ago, this was an incredibly rare thing. Everybody thought we were really weird that we were talking. But because of that, I'm the one who always had to pay attention to the rest of the group. And Jen said, if she was falling behind because she just kept looking at a turtle or whatever, I said, honey, come on, we got to go. And so it gave her this sense of security that she's always had because I'm a very experienced diver and she was always a little nervous about it. But when we did that dive, I mean, I was terrified too. Wow. I'd never seen anything quite like that. Going through a dive, which already can be a nerve-wracking thing, but with near zero visibility. I mean, we should not have been down there. It was a dangerous thing, and they wouldn't let us do it a second time. So that would have been my most dangerous dive.
Yeah, that totally sounds terrifying.
I almost ran afoul of a barracuda once as well, but that was just swimming in the ocean, not actual diving.
Yeah, those barracuda, they got some sharp teeth. You know, you don't want to mess with them. Okay, so that's it. Friends, thank you again for joining us. This has been the R&R Show. Rahdo, would you like to take us out?
Sure. I would like to say thanks for everybody for tuning in, and also thanks to Fun Again Games for sponsoring the show. Have a nice day, everybody. Talk to you later. So long. Bye-bye.